Every single month this year, the market has delivered consistent closings, consistent pricing, and days on market has stayed relatively low, especially for condos. In a market where volatility is the norm, Coconut Grove condos are the exception. And today, I want to show you exactly what that looks like. I am Jose Laya, and I was born and raised right here in Miami, and I've been selling real estate in the city for 20 years. I've seen every market cycle this city has gone through, and today I'm going to give you the real numbers. Right now, in 2026, most Miami condo markets are dealing with volatility, inventory swings, closing numbers that you can't predict, days on market increasing. Coconut Grove condos are doing something different. Every single month this year, the market has delivered consistent closings, consistent prices, and days on market has stayed relatively low. And here's our first graph. These are the totals for the second quarter with a month by month breakdown, and then that bottom row is the total for the second quarter. Let's start with April, and we're gonna start by letting you know, look at the active listings for April, May, and June. 110, 136, 178. We've covered this in other videos, but we feel it's important to mention because if you're new here and you see those numbers, you say, wow, actives have increased by a lot. Let me explain. That is a normal function of the real estate market, as most listings, when they're taken either at the end of the previous year or the beginning of the current year, they are set to expire at the end of the first quarter. So between March 31st and April 1st, if your listing is active, more often than not, it's set to expire and fall off the market on March 31st or April 1st, which is why April will always have a lower number of active listings. And then we like to call it this ramping up effect. As the days and weeks go by, those sellers relist and re-enter the market while also competing with new listings. And that's why you see that huge swing from 110 to 178. It's a normal function of the real estate market, so it's not cause for concern. Now let's jump into the number of closed sales and look at this. This is consistency, 36, 29, 29. Look how low that months of supply is month over month. Days on market, 107, it went down to 40 and then went back up to 78. But look at the total for the quarter, it's about 64. That's very low given the high median price. Look at this. Your median price per square foot started at $885, went down to $814, then $848. But the median price sold pretty much fluctuated between 1.5 and 1.7. The totals for the quarter, look at them there. 94 closed sales for the quarter. Look at that. Even with that increase in actives, it still kept months of supply low. Days on market at 64 is pretty fast, given that your median price sold is close to $1.6 million. And you can see your price per square foot there at $855. While we're covering the totals for the second quarter, we always like to highlight the highest priced closed sale for the quarter, and it was a 4-bedroom combo unit at One Park Grove, which is one of the most exclusive and sought after buildings in all of Coconut Grove. It was almost 5,000 square feet. Now, a combination of two units like that created, it's very rare. And these oversized residences of over 5,000 square feet are not easy to find. It sold for $16.7 million, which came out to $3,500 per square foot. When you take a premium building like One Park Grove and combine two units to create something genuinely unique at scale, the market will reward you. That sale proves it. $16.7 million and $3,500 per square foot. the highest price closed sale for the quarter for Coconut Grove Condos. That's a pretty extraordinary number. We're now going to take these totals for the second quarter and give them context by comparing them to the numbers for the first quarter. Let's take a look at that graph now. So here we have the graph comparing Q1 to Q2. That bottom row in light blue is the percent change. And let's dive right in. Look at this. Active listings actually increased, but more importantly, look at the number of closed sales from 83 to 94. That's why months of supply pretty much stayed at 6. Days on market decreased to 64 from 71. And look at pricing. Median price per square foot and median price sold both increased from 840 to 855 and from 1.375 million to just under 1.6 million dollars. When you have a market like this where actives increase, closed sales increase, causing months of supply to stay the same and days on market go down, this combination of more sales, faster sales, higher prices, all four moving in the same direction in the same quarter, that combination doesn't happen in a market with soft demand. It happens in a market where buyers want to be and are willing to pay to get in that neighborhood. That is what these numbers for the second quarter for Coconut Grove Condos is telling us. So where does the data suggest that this market is heading into the third quarter? If you see all four key metrics aligned positively in a single quarter, the question's not whether momentum exists, as it clearly does. The question is whether that will sustain, especially knowing that the third quarter is typically a slower selling season here in Miami. If the Grove lifestyle continues to attract the buyers that it has been attracting all year, the market has real runway heading into the second half of 2026. I will have the full picture of the third quarter for you once the data is in. Subscribe so you don't miss it. So what does this mean for you? If you're a buyer for a condo in Coconut Grove, the data we just showed you for the prior 6 months shows that real demand exists, even as prices were increasing. This clearly signals to you you're going to have to transact fast when you find the right property for you. If you're a seller of a condo in Coconut Grove, all key metrics are in your favor. Consistent demand, growing prices, and a market that has had consecutive months of great sales data. Price your unit correctly from the start, and as you saw, in about 2 months, it will be sold. Even at a high median price of close to $1.6 million, buyers are still searching for condos in Coconut Grove. That shows you the strength of the market in Coconut Grove for condos. And if you're an owner of a condo in Coconut Grove, thinking about creating something special, that sale of a combo unit in One Park Grove is a story worth understanding. A premium building plus a creative combination of units plus the right execution rewards you. You're talking about over $3,500 per square foot and over $16 million that a buyer paid. That is what the market will pay for something genuinely rare in the right location and in the right building. And that is your complete Coconut Grove Condo Market Report for the second quarter of 2026. We showed you exactly where the market has been, where it stands today, and where it may be heading into the third quarter. If you found this useful, subscribe. I cover different Miami condo neighborhoods with real data and 20 years of experience behind every number I share with you. Drop your questions in the comments and reach out directly if you're ready to buy or sell in Coconut Grove. I am always happy to help.